Today's lesson is on factoring trinomials. If you remember from a few sections ago, we started out with two sets of parentheses, and we used FOIL, or we distributed, to get an expanded expression. And then we would combine our like terms, and we would end up with the expanded expression. It started with our original two sets of parentheses. So in this section, we're going to start with our longer expression and then go backwards and end up with our two sets of parentheses. So we're putting it in factored form. So let's start with this example. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a chart. And this column here are going to be the factors of our squared term. And this column here are going to be the factors of our constant term. So the factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So because 3 times 1 is 3, and that is the only set of numbers that will multiply together to get us 3. So we're going to put 3y in one box and 1y in the other. And it doesn't matter if you put the 3 on the top or the 1 on the bottom. Next we're going to look at 8. And we have 1 times 8 will give us 8, or 2 times 4, right? And normally when we pick numbers to put into our boxes, we are going to first try the numbers that are kind of in the middle, so like 2 and 4. Our last option to try would be the 1 and 8, just because they are so different from each other. So let's pick 2 and 4, and we're just going to use guess and check. So let's put a 2 on the top and a 4 on the bottom. Then we're going to cross multiply, so take our 3y times our 4 to get 12y, and then our 1 times 2 to get us a 2y. That equals 14y. And we're trying to cross multiply and add together to get our middle term here. So we're looking for 10y, and we got 14y. So we know that having the 2 on the top and the 4 on bottom is not the correct order. So let's try and put the 4 on the top, and then we will put our 2 on the bottom. So 4 and 2. So 3 times 2 is going to be 6y, plus 1y times 4 is 4y, and that equals 10y, which is exactly what we were looking for. Now, to get it in factored form, we are going to look at the rows. So 3y plus 4 is going to go in our first set of parentheses, and y plus 2 is going in our second parentheses. And this right here is our answer. One way we can check our answer to see if it's correct is FOIL. So just like a few sections ago, we would just distribute out each one of these, and we would get our original answer up here. All right, let's do another example. So we have 10x squared minus 27x plus 18. And we're going to make our chart here. And factors of 10, we have 1 times 10, and then 2 times 5. So we're going to look at the 2 times 5, because we always start with the terms that are closest together. All right, so let's put a 2x on the top and a 5x on the bottom. Now we're going to look at our 18. So we have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. So we're going to try the 3 times 6, and let's put the 3 on top and the 6 on the bottom. So now we're going to cross multiply. 2 times 6 is 12x, plus 5 times 3 is 15x. That equals 27x. Now, if you notice, we're looking for a negative 27x, and we ended up with a positive 27x. So this means that 3 and 6 are the correct numbers, we just need to change their signs. So if we make 3 negative and 6 negative, we know that negative 3 times negative 6 gives us a positive 18. And then when we cross multiply and add, we'll get negative 12 plus negative 15, which will give us our negative 27, which is exactly what we want. Now to put it into our parentheses, remember we look at our rows, and we just take 2x minus 3, and then in the second one, we have our 5x minus 6. And once again, you could FOIL your answer to check to see if you get the one that we started with. Alright, so let's try another example. We have 14t minus 36 plus 2t squared. Now if you notice, the order in this one is different from the other ones that we did. Before we had them in descending order, so we had our squared term in the front, and then we went to the t term and then the constant term. So we're going to rearrange these so then we have them in descending order. And now we're ready for our chart. So 2, the only numbers that will multiply together to give us a product of 2 are 2 and 1. So we have our 2t and our 1t. And then 36, there's a lot of them there, so we have 1 times 36, we have 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. And so we're going to try, so we are going to look at the 4 and 9, because those are pretty close together. Usually the 6 and 6 aren't going to work because they're the same number. So we'll just try 4 and 9. If you want to try 6 and 6, that is perfectly okay. Once again, this is just guess and check, so you just kind of pick whichever you want. So we're going to start out with, we'll try 4 on the top and 9 on the bottom. And then we do our cross multiplication. So 2 times 9 is 18t plus 4t. Now if we go back and we look at our original problem, we have negative 36. So that means one of our numbers in here needs to be negative. So let's make our 4 a negative, because we know that if we look in the middle, we have 14t. So we want our bigger number to be positive, so then our answer when we add them together is positive. So we still have 18t, and then we're going to get a negative 4t. And that equals together to get 14t, which is exactly what we want. And to look in our parentheses, our first one is just the top row, 2t minus 4, and in our second one, t plus 9. So once again, what we do is we look at our first term, our squared term, and we put the factors in the left column. Then we look at our constant term and put those factors into our right column. Then we cross multiply and add to get our middle term. And then we look at the rows, and those tell us what our set of parentheses are.